going on, people? You're watching the first ever episode of Christianese on TLDTV right now. We're just a bunch of Christians going to break down some hardcore topics, some fun topics, and just discuss with you everything that we see going on around us, alright? Introducing ourselves.
My name is Funmi.
I'm Imiebi Rose.
I'm Parich.
I'm Doreen.
Okay, and I'm J.Walker. So we're going to be running through a bunch of topics. Which one's the first one?
It is Valentine's Day necessary?
Oh. So we've got a mixture of guys, ladies in the room as well. Ladies, I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think first.
Well, I was thinking about it the other day actually, and I was thinking it's not that it's necessary per se, but I think the biggest argument for it against it is that, oh, you should celebrate love every day, or you should celebrate your partner every day. But it's like, you can celebrate yourself every day, you can love on yourself every day, buy yourself gifts or take yourself out and still celebrate your birthday. And that's how I tend to see it. So,
yeah, I definitely agree. You can celebrate, you don't have to wait till that day in order to buy gifts. And I know that the world makes a big deal out of it. And sometimes actually, as Christians, we can feel left out. Like, you see it in the beautiful displays and you want to be part of it. I would say there's nothing wrong with being part of it, but is it necessary? As long as you know that you love your partner and you love each other, then not necessarily. It's not a must.
Before I say anything, I want to hear from you.
I feel like necessary wouldn't really be the right word. Personally, for me, I feel like Valentine's Day has become commercialized, and I feel that love shouldn't really be about the material things. It should be about the small things which you can express with your person every day. So.
Yeah, I think it kind of sits with me like the same way that like carnivals and such kind of things did. I think whatever it was first intended to do, I think is kind of long since faded and replaced by like naked weird angels called cupids and giant teddy bears and stuff. And I know the pressure's just different. What do you think?
Kind of the same. Like, so disclaimer, I happen to be a Valentine's Day baby, so it's on Valentine's Day, yeah.
Oh wow.
So whenever I actually tell this to people, you know, there tends to be that question. So, you know, you got a special someone, or that must be like a great day for you, like, you know, with girlfriend, with wife and that. And I'm just like, well, you know, when that time comes when I'm married, then cool. But until then, yeah, it's just another day. Like for me, like it's just about, you know, it's the day I was born. For those who are in a relationship, those who are married, you know, it's complimentary. So as Funmi said, you know, it's not necessary, but obviously it can be complimentary if you are in a relationship. But given the people that I'm surrounded by, like they kind of have that sense, well, it's just like commercial hype. So it's just really down to individual, my opinion. You know, if you want to do something special like on that particular day, then yeah, go for it. But are you going to pursue it religiously? Then you might have a bit of an issue there. And yeah, don't pressurize anybody who's not in a relationship by that day, because you know that's just.
I think like social media does it like for you.
There's all kind of videos going on, like Valentine's Day inspired hair and makeup and outfit, date night, adverts all over the place. Hashtag relationship goals.
And people are being like forced to get into a relationship before Valentine's Day so that they get a teddy bear. Like, take yourself out, buy yourself a teddy bear. Like,
really
honestly,
just hype.
I think people overdo it. Like I think in Japan or something like that, they have a day for singles where they all wear black and eat black noodles because they didn't receive anything on Valentine's Day, and they have a day that the guys reciprocate because it's the girls that give a present. So if you didn't get to be a part of that, then you wear black and go and, you know, eat noodles together in a bar, and it's just a bit.
That sounds like shame culture.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, if someone from Japan was here, they might give a bit more context to it. I don't know, but me hearing it for the first time, it kind of sounds a bit like
like they're being singled
all black,
like they're mourning something.
You wear all black, that's like funeral wear. What going on?
I think now, like 2018 as well, I kind of feel like it leans so heavily towards the male. The pressure. If we're all equal and everything else, like I don't know. It seems like one of those contexts that I usually get in trouble for saying, where I think like women want to be equal until it gets like technical, and then they kind of opt out, and it's like on the guy to make sure it happens. Because if we're celebrating love, then surely.
But then again, isn't the guy the leader?
Of Valentine's.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in the household, the male.
Well, biblically speaking, you know, every day, not just Valentine's Day. You know, like head of the household, like as representative of, you know, Christ being the head of the church. But
why?
Are we taking it as biblical? Saint Valentine, because it's not. I say it probably falls closer to being Catholic than Christian, Roman Catholic, I should say, to be specific. Than Christian.
I actually used to be a Catholic, and I used to hold on to it like, yeah, we celebrate. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's religious. It's a good thing. But now it's just like whatever.
Well, I don't think even Saint Valentine himself actually intended for it to be religious. It's just kind of, well, the little that I know of where it comes from. Saint Valentine, he married soldiers, you know, to their wives to be, because it was at a time where, like, oh, you know, soldiers getting too soppy, don't marry them, otherwise, you know, just thinking about the woman, it might distract them on the battlefield, you know, something like that. But Saint Valentine will just marry them together in secret. So that's just pretty much like the basic info I have on where it comes from. I think if Saint Valentine was alive today, he would probably say like that wasn't the intention. I just wanted to facilitate them an opportunity to, like, you know, just share their vows. I'm pretty sure that was just the intention, really.
We've made a day of it.
Yeah. But in response to that, I strongly believe like women should reciprocate in the same way. I feel like I'd be the one who goes OTT and in society sense be the man when it comes to preparing Valentine's Day. But I think I'm the kind of person who would love on my spouse every day anyway, and so Valentine's Day is an extra day. But that being said, I probably wouldn't celebrate Valentine's Day on the day. It's like I'll do it within the week, but on a day where it's less crowded outside and stuff like that. So I do believe, I think it does fall heavily on, personally, I think it does fall heavily on the man, and women should actually not feel too held reserved in doing the same for whoever they're with as well. So
I think my wife would have no choice but to love me on that day, like for more reason than just like Valentine's Day. So no brainer.
Because I think the pressure I'm under, I don't know if I call it peer pressure, but I think there's a guilt that comes from when I see like there's some other guy somewhere just organize a flash dance for his girl. And like, if I don't show up and show out with like something after that, it just end up feeling bad because they feel like you're kind of selling your spouse. Sure, it's just a weird guilt. I don't even know where it comes from.
But also it's like it becomes so material based and away from the sense of loving the person. So if someone, you know, has decided to buy a Jaguar for their spouse for Valentine's Day, and then they've gone and shown it all over social media, now you're feeling incompetent because, you know, you bought roses and their favourite chocolates, and maybe you know what, they're happy with food or something like that. So it does become more about who's doing bigger and better than, you know what, I just want to appreciate you extra on this day because that's the day that we're celebrating it.
Does anyone have any personal experiences, maybe past?
I remember when I was, it was the year of my 18th birthday. The night before, there was already a surprise party for me, so like the girl that I was seeing at the time, she was there. Would have liked to have seen like actually on the day, like, you know, when the sun was up, daytime, people actually out. Like I went, it was a Sunday, so after church we went to Curvan, so it was mostly family, and then I know one of my brother's friends, he came as well, but you know, I was pretty cool with him as well. She wasn't able to come, but you know, she was alright with it, because you know, at least like because the party went into the early hours of the morning, so she was still there, and she was just grateful enough that, you know, we were together. So, you know, that kind of calmed me down, because I was thinking, oh no, it's going to be the first year that I'm actually, you know, seeing somebody, like, it's my birthday and it's Valentine's Day, so like, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, a double, as you said. But thinking about it, we're actually together the previous day. Everyone was still awake, like we went to that day, so for me it was just kind of like, it's just the togetherness. There was no, well, we're in our teens, so like you can't really, realistically, you can't really expect too much, materialistically speaking, out of somebody like when you're in your teens. I mean, that's around the time where you're still kind of studying, just kind of figuring out, you're probably still looking for your part-time job. Like, never mind like, oh, what car are you going to be driving?
It's funny because to add to that, like, it's going to sound heinous, but I know a lot of guys that would strategically break up before Valentine's.
Yeah, I've heard of things like that.
I shouldn't be leaking that secret. And then like a little while after, like February 20th or whatever, like they like resolve whatever issue they had, like
The issue.
the issue.
Just so that they don't have to do anything.
Yes.
That's just
The pressure's a lot though, you know. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying the pressure's a lot.
I can agree with the pressure because I remember in past relationships I've put pressure on the person I've been with, and then when they do give me a gift I'm never happy with it. I'm just like, oh okay, like just never satisfied because I'm always focusing on it too much. But then when I rededicated my life to Christ, I kind of thought, okay, well, what is this I'm celebrating anyway? Why am I putting so much importance on one day? And what is love? And just asking myself those questions, and it changed my perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wait, is it? Go on.
What about the cultural pressures, like in conjunction with Valentine's Day?
Explain.
Like, cause I think the pressure is probably a bit more. I know it's probably a bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot more hectic in others, like depending. So like, let's just say like certain like African cultures, or maybe like Caribbean background. Obviously, like what parent wouldn't like their child to kind of find someone, be in that kind of courtship that would lead on to marriage. Like if they actually kind of have that standard as well. So Valentine's Day comes round, if you have those sort of relatives who's kind of like asking like, where's the husband? Where's the wife? Or like, where your lady friend them? We're on the picnic them and all that. Yeah, so when the Valentine's Day comes round, like, it'll probably just be like, a bigger platform for them to ask that question, Not saying that everyone would be like that. They probably don't see Valentine's Day as a big deal, but they still kind of ask those questions constantly. But still, like, has anyone ever kind of experienced those kind of pressures? Valentine's Day there, you already got that one auntie asking, that usual question.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
I usually get that question around my birthday, and my birthday is 3 days after Valentine's Day. So it's like usually my dad like, have you found someone, that kind of thing. But that's it really. I don't really get on Valentine's Day. My parents don't really acknowledge it at all. Actually, never have.
Yeah, I don't get that question at all. Actually, I think I've been pretty blessed, and plus I wouldn't let anyone ask me anyway. I'd be like, bring the husband, we'll go to the wedding together. That's what I usually tell people now.
I think just to check while you guys are here, because you may be helping out with this, am I understanding that the whole big deal of it really is the time, effort, and energy of the male usually equals the amount of love? Is that the logic of what's happening?
I don't know. Sometimes as females, because we're quite emotional, sometimes we kind of equate it to, okay, if you didn't do my love language, then you don't love me, kind of thing. Sometimes if you're newly married and you don't understand your husband, then you might, I've heard it so many times, you equate it to, if you don't do this or if you didn't do that. I can't think of any examples. So yeah, maybe if you forgot Valentine's Day or didn't even...
It means you don't love your partner as much.
It may feel like that, but it doesn't mean that that's the case. But it can feel like that.
What does it mean?
It can feel like that in a woman's mind if a male forgets things, or like not making much effort, or compared to when maybe they first got together, if they see that it's deteriorating, it might feel to a woman like that. But
I think in a healthy relationship, it may feel like that if there are other things that are being neglected as well. So it's like, okay, you've forgotten my birthday, or you didn't remember to pick up the kids from school, you don't do the dishes, you don't do this, and you forgot Valentine's Day, now it's a problem. So not because of the material things necessarily, for some women anyway, but because of the trend of things, and then on top of that, the one day where, society's even helping you and reminding you that you're not doing it on that day either. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to clarify that while I had a chance. Cool, what's our next topic?